Hey, what's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out. DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
This is Kristen Gamer, and you are tuned into my mom, Kristie J.
E-Class Consulting. It's owned and operated by Kristie, providing tools, training, and resources that are sure to make you and your business even more successful. We are staffed with a marketing, credit, tax, and a real estate consultant. E-Class Consulting also provides a temporary admin service called E-Class Admins. Want to book an appointment with E-Class Consulting? Call 702-518-3002 or email book@eclassconsulting.com. E-Class Consulting, navigating you to greatness.
Y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
This is Kid West. You're live with the Chisholm Report with Kristie J. Hot 702.5.
It's your main man, 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
It's Kristie J from the Chisholm Report. You're tuned in to Hot 702.5.
This is Hot 702.5.
Come talk shit and politics with Kristie J from the Chisholm Report every Saturday at 10 a.m. on hot7025fm.com.
Tune in now on hot7025fm.com.
Yeah, election time's coming. Who you gonna vote for? Yeah, if I was president, I'd get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday, they go back to work on Monday. If I was president, if I was president, if I was president, yeah. Instead of spending billions on the war, I can use that money so I can feed the poor, 'cause I know some so poor. When it rains, that's when they shower, scream and fight the power. That's when the vulture devours. If I was president, I get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday, they go back to work on Monday. If I was president, if I was president, if I was president, yeah. I know some soldiers that sleep but they can't dream, wake up with screams, sounds of M16. So take this medal of honor for your bravery. I wish you the best, kid, you and your family. If I was president, I get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday, they go back to work on Monday. If I was president, if I was president, if I was president. But the radio won't play this, they call it rebel music. How can you refuse it? Children of Moses, tell the children the truth, the truth. It's not all that bling that's diamond. Tell them the truth, the truth. Most of y'all wear cubic zirconia. Tell them the truth, The truth, yeah. Your soul is worth more than diamonds.
If I was president, all blacks, I have reparation, no segregation, feed the nation so there's no famine. Muslims, Jews, Christians, with all whole hands. Every week on the beach, party by the sand. Word up, take trips on Air Force One. Don't need to bring the homeless with no sneaks to Air Force One. Better schools in the hood, better teachers for the classes, making money, paying no tax. Find the best scientists, tell them come up with an answer. I want the cure for AIDS and cancer, but I gotta watch my back. Snipers on the hill with the steel, waiting to JF
I
kill.
was president. I get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday. They go back to work on Monday. If I was president, if I was president, I feel the rain coming. Let me play my guitar for them right now.
Let's go.
Refugees. Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. This is the Chisholm Report, and you are in with Kristie J. Thank you guys for coming in and sitting with me. Going on now every Saturday at 10 o'clock a.m. We're gonna be able to talk about politics. So my background is I am a political scientist, born and raised here in Las Vegas, Nevada, but educated in Louisiana at Southern University. I'm very passionate about my community and really want my people to understand the importance of us knowing our rights, knowing how the law is supposed to work for us, and how there are resources and things like that to be able to help us also through the community. And so I just want to thank you guys for coming in and being able to sit with me. It's important that you interact with us. So 702-551-5261 is the phone number to be able to call in, drop a comment. If you have any questions, most definitely do that. And also, if you have any events coming up this month, especially it being Black History Month, go ahead and shout us out. We do advertising, and we're able to go ahead and help you with sponsorship for that. Okay? So let's go ahead and just jump right on in. I want to make sure that we are touching a couple of different things. So my schedule today basically is a couple of things that we will be talking about is some resources that's inside of the city for us. We will talk about some of these executive orders that have been issued, what they mean, how they are applied. Okay. And sure, we're going to ask WTF. What are we supposed to be doing here? We're going to go over some numbers, and we're going to make sure that we are educated about what's happening with us here in America. So first off, I just want to say that there's a couple of different things happening this month. Of course, we just talked about it being a Black History Month. There is a Heart of the Community Black Block Party. It's going to be at the MLK Senior Center. That's at 2420 North Martin Luther King Boulevard. It will be health screenings, sound healing yoga, free haircuts, and also activities for the kids. This is a free event, and this is October 15th at 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We also have the Tuskegee Airmen presentation, and that would be at the 2400 West Deer Springs Way. That's North Las Vegas, 89084. That is February the 4th, Tuesday, and that is at 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., and that is a free event also. I have so many that you can be able to check on our pages and see the events that are coming up. But I also have the Black History Month Business Fair at the Aliante Library. That is also at the 2400 West Deer Springs Way. And that would be February the 22nd. And that is Saturday at 1 p.m. Okay. Just quickly, just jumping on to a couple of different things that's happening here in the city locally. One is less than 2 weeks ago, Governor Lombardo said that he was going to make sure that the teachers and staff of the Clark County School District was going to get a raise. And then just yesterday they said that there's a problem with issues with the budget. Okay. They have been promising raises for our teachers every year, and every year the school board cuts the budget. But even with them cutting the budget, their salaries go up. So let's be mindful about what's going on there. Parents, I urge you to go to those meetings so you can be able to voice your opinion, so they are not being able to do stuff in the dark and you not knowing what's happening with us and our kids. Also here in Las Vegas, if you guys did not see that the Cuban community was actually taken advantage of, there was over 200 people who were subject. They basically messaged them, told them that they would be Amazon drivers, third-party Amazon drivers, had these people pay $200 that took care of their fingerprints and licensing and fees. And when the people showed up to the Quest Diagnostic Centers, no one knew what they were talking about. They didn't have appointments for fingerprinting and stuff like that. When they went to the actual building where they said they had set up for these jobs, there was no one there. So they basically stole all these people's money and these people's information, their social security cards and everything. So the Cuban community basically felt like they were taken advantage of, because it was a lot of people who were not, I won't say, I don't know them personally, but from what the news said, a lot of them were not fluent in English, and they were trying to get a job, and they took advantage of these people taking their social security numbers and additional information and just ran off with it. So you guys be careful with the information that you share. Make sure you are checking to see if these are credible companies. And that's very unfortunate, because you got these people who think that, like they trying to make a way for themselves, and that's probably their last $200, and you take it and then you run off with it and they have nothing. And there was so many people outside of the building that that they really scammed them. They scammed them a lot. All right. I want to jump into something that just happened this morning. So Trump's going to implement the tariffs. I do have a clip on this. Trump is going to, so it goes into play today, okay? 10 to 25% tariffs on China, Canada, and Mexico. I want to go ahead and go into the clip, and then we'll discuss after.
Campaigned on lowering the cost of everyday items for Americans. In fact, many voters said President Trump will actually raise costs. Donald Trump has announced that on day one as president, he will impose tariffs on imported goods from the nation's three largest trading partners, China, Mexico, and Canada. On Truth Social, Trump said he would impose a 25% tariff on Mexican and Canadian goods and add another 10% tariff on top of existing tariffs on items from China. Several Verify viewers asked if Trump's plans would actually raise costs for Americans, as some economists have warned. So let's verify. Our sources are the Council on Foreign Relations, the Tax Foundation, the American Action Forum, and the Center for American Progress Action Fund. Tariffs are taxes that the government imposes on imported goods. Here's how they work. Let's say an American store today buys T-shirts for $10 in Vietnam and sells them for $12 in the U.S. Under Trump's proposed tariff, the business would pay an additional $1 or $2 to import the shirts. While the importer could absorb the cost, economists say it's more likely the business will sell the shirt for up to $14, passing the cost on to the consumer. Estimates from conservative and progressive policy experts vary, but they all say Trump's tariff proposals are generally expected to cost a typical household between $1,700 and $6,000 annually, even if companies shift some manufacturing back to the U.S. So yes, Trump's proposed tariffs would likely raise costs for Americans.
Okay, so I know that there was a lot of misunderstanding about what the tariffs was going to do, because we saw plenty of interviews where people were like, no, the tariffs, he's going to make them pay the tariffs. They are not, okay? and the consumer is you, and the consumer is the buyer. So like they said, if you were a person that you were going to you're buying t-shirts to sell to people, you are going to get hit with that. Okay, the additional cost of that, and then it makes everything else go up here, because then the person that has to buy it from you, you still have to make a profit. So now you have to go up in your price to be able to make sure that you get what you need out of that also. Okay, so some of the things that we need that will go up are subject to go up. Okay, are avocados from Mexico. Okay, beer, beef, fresh fruit. This is all Mexico stuff right here. Beer, beef, fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, pickup trucks, and tequila. Okay. Canada, we have petroleum, natural gas, energy, copper, maple, beef, and pork. These are just some of them. There's plenty. I mean, hundreds of items that might be touched, maybe thousands. Okay. China, this is a long one. Okay. We have machinery, electronics, that's including toys, games, and video games, sport equipment, plastics, rubber, leather goods, chemicals, fruits and vegetables, snack food, spices, agriculture, tea, furniture, smartphones, computers, and lithium batteries. What is it? Lithium ion batteries. Okay. So those are just some of the things. And then that's not where he ended. He said that he has other places that he want to put tariffs on and things like that. This affects us because what happened when we were talking about all this stuff was going to happen, where he was going to make sure prices went down and everything else. And none of his executive orders are actually out there to be able to help us. Has anybody looked and noticed that all the executive orders that he put out would be something to help him? Like, so let's talk about some of the executive orders that he put out there. But before we talk about those, I want you to know what they are. What is an executive order? How does it work? And how does it apply to the people? Okay. Have a clip on it. Let's go ahead and go into the clip and we'll discuss after.
Power of the pen. With just their signatures, U.S. presidents can issue executive orders, documents that direct the actions of the federal government. They have the force of law. There are limits on the president's ability to issue orders. The order must specify what authority is used to make it, either the Constitution or a law. Executive orders can be overturned. Courts can rule them unconstitutional. Congress can refuse to spend money to carry out an order. Congress can pass legislation to invalidate them. Future presidents can undo an order by issuing a new one. All U.S. presidents except one, William Harrison, who died after 1 month in office, have issued at least one executive order, and some executive orders make history. In issues large and small, presidents use executive orders to shift priorities and change the way the federal government does business.
All right, you guys. So please like, share, and comment. Make sure that you guys are sharing this out, because this is information to be able to make sure everybody gets it. And I get it. You know what I mean? Everybody's not political and everything else, but there's certain information that you need to know. Okay. And I'm going to try to make sure it's something that everybody can understand without us going into depth. Okay. So just like she expressed, the executive orders, there's 3 branches. Okay. And they're supposed to check and balance each other. You have your Congress. Those are the people who we pick. Okay. When we pick those people, they're supposed to represent us, and we're supposed to give them our information, how we want things, what we want. That's the most important. Okay. Then you have judicial, which judicial actually is them implementing the law. Them saying, okay, well, this is the law that they made, and this is the law that you have to abide by. So that's your judges, your sheriffs, your things like that, okay? Attorney generals, things like that, okay? And then you have the executive, which is the president, okay? And that's who's actually signing off on the bills at the end of the day, okay? To be honest, he is more ceremonial, and he is just the face of America. So when they look at us, they see us as an orange colored fat man. Not knocking, okay, but I'm just saying that's what they see. They see us as a person who is a bully. They see us as a person who is a rapist. They see us as a person who is a con, a felon, okay, someone who is dishonest. I'm not going to keep going on him. Everybody knows who he is. Okay. So let's talk about some of the things. So 32 of the executive orders so far that he has put out, he's had some setbacks, not all. He's been able to put people in positions where I would consider them as DEI hires. Okay. They're unqualified. And they do not represent they do not represent the people very well. Okay. It doesn't look like they relate to anyone. So just a couple of them. One would be him saying he's going to restore the names of these honored American greatness. Okay. That means that all those Klan, Confederate monuments, statues, buildings, those names are going to go back up there. How this helps anybody, I have no idea. How that makes sure that your eggs go down, I have no idea. But this is one of the things that he signed into for executive order. Okay. He also signed to declassify the records concerning the assassination of JFK, RFK, and MLK Jr. Now, everybody was like, "Oh, this is going to be good," but this is you gotta read the room, okay? JFK was in a relationship with Marilyn Monroe, okay, and other women while he was married. Okay. There is also files about missing money. Okay. And some additional dealings. There's also things out there that say that he might have been in the, say it again. I hope I said it right. Community. Also with Martin Luther King. They had recordings of him having relations. Okay. Freak offs. He was diddying. Okay. They said he was diddying. Said he may have had him a boyfriend. Okay. And additional things like he had gambling issues and stuff like that. RFK, same thing, saying that he was taking bribes and things like that. This is to defame these men and to say, well, if you're going to take it, this goes right into the honor American greatness. He wants to be able to say, well, he did it. He cheated on his wife and you were mad at me. He had money issues or did some additional shady things with policies, and you were mad at me. This is just to be able to so-called put himself on the same scale. So I don't know if I'm going to totally believe what's happening with that. And I really don't feel like, how does that help us today? How does that make the cost of healthcare go down? How does that help with cost of food or housing? It doesn't. Okay. Once again, this is nothing that's going to be able to fix with us. Removing barriers to American leadership for AI, artificial intelligence. How is that going to help us? Because all of the places I know that are now going to AI, like you go to Walmart and you don't have anyone checking you out. You can even go into Savers. I'm a big Savers person, y'all. And they don't have anybody checking you out. Okay. You can go into some of these places where they ship mail, stuff like that. No one is in there. There's one person. That's taking away jobs from Americans. Okay. That's making sure that you can be written off like, we don't need you. We have someone. Amazon laid off a whole bunch of people for AI. You know what I mean? Things like that. So, and that also says that they can do more surveillance on you. They're doing more AI. They're able to cover more areas with more cameras. All right. So those are some of the things. Let's talk about some of the things that will walk back. Okay. So he had to walk back the federal funding freeze, and that's what everybody was talking about for today. Now, if you are a person that was supposed to get benefits and you did not get benefits, call in 702-551-5261. I would love to hear your opinion on what happened. Okay, so that was a freeze on veteran aid, education, healthcare, disaster relief, and infrastructure. Okay. And he had to walk it back because, of course, no one in his cabinet has the intelligence to be able to understand that there is more elements to just turning off federal funding. Okay. Thinking that that's just going to turn it off just for DEI, which is not. Okay. Let's also name a couple of things he did not do that we did not get relief on that happens to matter to regular common people on an everyday basis. No relief for Americans. No lower taxes. He ain't said nothing about that. No tax credits. He ain't said nothing about that. No lowering of the food prices. I know y'all know if you did not go to the grocery store today and pick up a thing of eggs for $4.07, that was the deal that they posted. $4.07. Okay, get the hell out of here. No regulation on housing costs. No health and medicine cost relief. No help with child care costs. No additional jobs being added. No student loan relief. No grants to be able to help with tuition costs. No senior citizen or Social Security help. Where's the help? Where are these executive orders that supposed to be helping us out? Okay. That's what you voted for, right? You voted because you said he was going to make the prices go down. You voted for him because you said he was going to make America safe again. And nothing has been done to do any of that as of yet. Also, let me also say this. My babies came home. That was Tuesday. And my Christian asked me, he said, Mama, he has another friend in his class named Christian. Now, Christian is an all Spanish speaking student. And they sit next to each other. You know, the only thing that he says that he talks back and forth with Christian, and Christian was teaching him different things to say. Well, Christian didn't come back to school all week. So Tuesday he asked me, I was watching the news and he was saying, is Christian going to have to go back to Mexico? Huh? I am, but I'm not. I don't mean to. He asked if he was going to have to go back to Mexico, and I said, I don't know, baby. I don't think that they would come and get kids. Okay, so then Wednesday he came home, him and Mason, and they were upset. They were upset because they said that their friend has not come back to school, and the teacher had to talk to them about if something happened where someone came to the school, what they would have to do. Okay. And they were upset because at that point, about 7 or 8 of their classmates are no longer at the school. We don't know what's going to happen going forward. And that's sad for my kid to know that that's going on. Okay. That reminds me of me reading the book, Anne Frank. And she was talking about how they were at school and then people were disappearing, and then they had to hide in attics and stuff like that so they wouldn't have to go to concentration camps and things like that. If you guys read that book, give me a thumbs up so you'll know. So I know that you know what I'm talking about. This was Holocaust. This was children being affected with what's happening with rich, and I'm going to say this out, with rich men who want to play around with people's lives like little green army men. Okay. This is sad. And I don't totally agree with everything. I'm not even going to get on what my view is from that, but I'm going to tell you that them kids have nothing to do with it. Okay. They are innocent to this, and that affects me. I also want to say, that I am praying for all of the situations happening with these planes falling out of the sky. This is crazy. Okay. The first one, I clicked on the TV and I said I was going to turn the TV off that night. I had to go to sleep. I was so tired. And as soon as I clicked on it, it had happened maybe 15 minutes ago, and they were literally showing it happened. And then yesterday, same thing over again. Another plane went down with a child on there that was coming back from surgery. It's just too much stuff. And of course, your that orange dude at that White House said that it was because of DI hires, which it was DI. I guess it was DI hires because they were white men that were unqualified. Okay, which is 95% of the pilots that fly under commercial planes right now anyway. Okay, so I just don't really, it's bothering me. So I want you guys to know that. But let's go ahead and jump into these executive orders so we can be able to make sure that we are giving you the information. The first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the ending of birthright citizenship. If you know what that is, give me your definition in the comments. Let's go ahead and go into the clip and we'll discuss after.
The U.S. Constitution, drafted in the late 18th century, left much of the decision-making regarding immigration and citizenship to Congress. But President Donald Trump has signed an executive order ending birthright citizenship in the United States.
We're the only country in the world that does this with birthright, as you know. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. But, we'll see. We have very good grounds. People have wanted to do this for decades.
Critics of Trump's executive order say the 14th Amendment is a cornerstone of civil rights and cannot be pulled away by a U.S. president.
Originally, it was to ensure that Black slaves were able to get citizenship, and this is enshrined in Dred Scott, the case. And constitutional amendments and constitutional rights cannot be taken away by a president.
However, supporters of the executive order argue it is necessary to restore fairness in the immigration system.
President Trump has made it clear that restoring fairness to our immigration system and defending the true intent of the 14th Amendment are central to his vision of making America great again. His historic executive order to end birthright citizenship marks a critical step forward.
The executive order faces significant legal challenges, with multiple lawsuits already in progress. Democratic attorneys general from 22 states have filed lawsuits arguing the order violates the 14th Amendment.
The Supreme Court reaffirmed it in a case where a lot of Chinese immigrants' citizenship was disputed, and the court reaffirmed that the 14th Amendment applied to these Chinese immigrants and they were able to get citizenship.
A federal judge in Seattle temporarily stopped the birthright citizenship order from taking place. If the case reaches the Supreme Court, the outcome could shape the nation's understanding of citizenship. If the order is allowed to move forward, the most immediate impact will be on newborns and those yet to receive birth certificates and Social Security numbers.
So what you see on the screen is he said we're the only country that does this, that does birthright citizenship. This is a list of all the countries. Do I need to read this out? Okay, so I can't see. Let's see here. We got Australia. We have, I can't see nothing. Belize. We have. And I can't see nothing.
Argentina.
Thank you.
Barbados, Belize, Bolivia, Brazil, Canada,
Cameroon,
Cuba, Dominica, Ecuador, El Salvador, so on and so forth. Fiji, so on and so forth.
It's so many. Okay, remember he said that we're the only. We're the only. All right. So he's lying again. He lie all the time. Okay, and that is ridiculous that he lies so much. Like, he lied like a baby daddy trying not to give you no money. Okay, like that doesn't make any sense. Why you would come up with just any lie all the time to be able to do that? So dealing with that, okay, when they talk about our, like I have friends that say, you know, saying he's not looking to get us. He is there to be, he trying to get the Mexicans out. But the thing is, first of all, the Hispanics and the Latins are not the only people who come into this country. There is so many people that come into this country. Okay, white, black, Hispanic, whatever. It's a lot of people that come into this country. Second of all, that means this goes all the way back to us. Okay, enslaved people being born here and them trying to say that we are not a citizen. Okay, so they trying to knock it all out in one swoop, saying that trying to take away all rights of everybody else other than white people, which that means that they are on this list of ending birthright, because they not from here. They're not from here. Okay, and if you look at the history in the history books, the real history books will tell you it belongs to us. It belongs to us. It belongs to Native Americans. It belongs to Hispanics, which all of us are all the same. Which I'm going to explain that in some numbers in just a moment. Okay, but the issue I have with that is that how dare you try to take? First of all, everybody has built this country. Okay, you come here, you're fighting to be able to get. You're coming here to be able to get have a good life, get this so-called American dream, build a business, build a family, kids get education, live and enjoy your life, and all you're getting is pushback of, oh well, you're not from here. What do you mean? Everybody, including the homeless people outside, because they go in the store and buy stuff too, pay taxes. Okay. Now, someone might not pay income taxes, and it's a lot of Americans who have never had a job. Okay. And they don't pay income taxes. But as for taxes on furniture, avocados, beer, electronics, TVs, all these additional things, they are paying taxes into this country. And then these people are trying to tell you that your dollar does not matter, no matter it came in paying here or not. Now, I would be mad as hell if Netflix told me that, yes, you paid your bill here, but because you're not using it from a Fire Stick, you have a Roku, you don't get those benefits. That's not right. That's not right. I paid my money. Give me my stuff. Right. So that's one of the things that we're talking about in here. What we need to do moving forward with that is that, first of all, there's been plenty of judges that stepped in and say that this is against the Constitution and that they are fighting for this. Now, it has to because it is attached to funding, taxes, money. Okay, it has to go through Congress, and now it has to the judicial portion has to say that it is constitutional. Okay, so we're going to keep fighting to see what is going to happen with that. Let's stay on that so we can be able to bring back information back and forth to each other. Let's learn with each other. Okay. Second one I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about three big ones. Second one I want to talk about is the ending of wasteful government DEI programs and preferences. Okay. So let's go ahead and go into that clip and we'll discuss that.
From day one, our country has slowly tried to live up to its founding fathers' vision in the Declaration of Independence. The vision that we are all created equal, having inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, no matter our status or background. We weren't close to that when this country was founded. We discriminated against African Americans, women, and others. But we made progress, like the 14th Amendment, the 19th Amendment, and the Civil Rights Act, and more recently, diversity, equity, and inclusion was added. But today, that last one was ended by an executive order of President Trump. So let's get into what DEI is and what DEI is not.
DEI is an umbrella term for plans to put equitable environments into our workplaces, something Dr. Uhuru Williams, founder of the Racial Justice Initiative at St. Thomas, is well versed in.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion simply ensures fairness in hiring practices. It doesn't establish quotas. It doesn't establish set-asides. It simply recognizes the importance of creating an environment where everyone feels valued and seen.
Its origin, as it pertains to work, is the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
I really wish that people would just dig into the language of the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
That dig brings you to Title 6 and 7 of that act that say discrimination is prohibited in employment based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. And to know that's been around for 60 years should tell you working toward diversity, equity, and inclusion is not a new concept in this country. So to see it stricken from the federal government is something.
I never thought, and I'm not Pollyanna by any stretch of the imagination, that we would get to this point. This is very, very difficult.
The most recent data from the Government Accountability Office shows that federal employees aren't remarkably diverse. Nearly 68% of them are white, a clear majority.
To have the president come in and articulate, as so many believe, that fundamentally these programs are discriminatory against whites is simply not true. They do not entitle nor provide opportunities or jobs for individuals. They simply ensure fairness in hiring.
Fairness that also isn't just about white or black.
A large number of those who have benefited from these types of programs are white women, are minorities other than African Americans.
Okay, so right up back. DEI does not mean black people. Okay, it doesn't. To be honest, black women benefited the least from DEI. Why? Because we are qualified. A lot of us are educated and with backgrounds to be able to get the job. Now, the problem was that we were being overlooked by people because we were overqualified. Okay. And because we were black, and they were looking at that other than looking at our actual credentials. So white women actually benefited the most because it was for women's rights. I don't know if anybody else, this is my own opinion, but I feel like DEI was white men's answer to the Me Too movement. I feel like there was a big disconnect from that because they felt like these women came in and they wooed them and then they told on them. Okay. So now they don't want that to happen anymore. So this is them trying to be able to get those people out of these positions who are able to get men kicked out of their companies, off of the boards and everything else because of sketchy stuff that they were doing in the office. Okay. So one of the things about DEI is that it also rectified with, it goes right with affirmative action. You guys wanted to take away affirmative action, but affirmative action actually allowed certain people, like you, being able to live in these neighborhoods that you don't want to live in your own black neighborhoods with your own people. You don't want your kid to go to this ghetto school. You want your kid to go to the school that's up the street. You don't want to go, you want to be able to go to this country club, or you want to be able to work at this certain job. You want to live in this certain city. This is what these things did. Now, arguing with this, what we do moving forward is, I'm going to say this, and I hope no one takes offense to what I'm going to say. The Civil Rights Act, the Civil Rights Movement, us fighting to go sit in these diners and to allow black people to come to your businesses and your schools, damaged the black dollar. Because now you want to take your money over there to Kathy's pies and she tell you that she only got white pies when you could have went to Louise Chicken, okay, and made her a millionaire. Okay, now there is no law firm that is a Johnson and Jones, okay, because Johnson and Jones both went to go to Lombardo and Scanopoli, okay, and they will never own that business because their name is not on there. So instead of us having our own firm, now we have to go to this firm and never generate the wealth of being able to build our own businesses, grocery stores, schools. We want to complain about what they have in schools for these kids. And they want to complain about the education for the schools, but when we had our own schools, we could teach our own kids. Okay, so separate but equal may have been the right thing to go, but we're not there. Okay, so now at this point, you're going to need to educate your own kid. You're going to need to make sure that when you are dealing with business, you are trying to build your black dollar. You are trying to make sure that dollar circulates in your community. You're going to try to make sure that you're hiring the right type of people. Okay, you have all these companies that decided that they were going to cut their programs, and they have now lost money because these people have now decided to go elsewhere, like Target, Walmart, and now we going to Costco. Okay, so but what black company do you have? Okay, so that's where we need to be able to go with this. Let's stay on top of this also, so we can be able to educate each other and walk ourselves through this. I want to talk about this really quickly about the unleashing of American energy. We don't have to actually go through that, but that is him saying he wants to drill here. Now, where he's talking about drilling, I want you to know is promised land to enslaved. This was our 40 acres. Okay. That's the land they're going to use, the sacred land for the Native Americans. That's the land that they're going to use. Okay. This is all of our stuff that they're going to take so he can be able to basically poison the water, release gases that might end up, like, I know y'all watch YouTube and y'all see those videos of the places talking about abandoned towns, abandoned communities and stuff like that. That's because they are now toxic because of the stuff that was released. These are, you talk about in Louisiana, you got all these young guys who work at the petroleum plants, and then they are dying at 45 years old because of cancer and stuff like that because of what they're releasing. This is not something that we really want to do, but you want a job, but how long are you going to be able to stay on a job without being able to get sick? Those were one of the orders. Now, how many seconds do I have left? I have 3 minutes. I'm going to talk about these numbers, okay? Numbers are important to me, and this is why I want you guys to understand what's happening with us, okay? When I tell you that when I went through this rabbit hole, all right, and I never did come out the other end, I'm still doing numbers at the house. There is over 8 billion people in this world, on Earth, globally, okay? There are 340 plus million people in the U.S. Okay. Now let's break this down. There are 560 white people in the world. Okay, globally. There is 7.4 billion additional people. Okay, here in the U.S., white people take up 58.4%, Hispanics 19.5%, blacks 13.7%, Asians 6.4%, Alaskan Indian Native American 1.3%, and Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islanders 0.3%. Now, the reason why I say that is when I'm talking about how money works, okay, I want you to know that there is around about 2,700 plus, maybe a couple of billionaires in this world. There are no trillionaires in this world. Okay. This is reported by Forbes. There are 7 million people who live in extreme poverty. That would be 8.5% of the people live on less than $2 a day. Okay. Classified as 13% of the people live in global, said that this is middle economy, living on on what they say middle or higher middle income. Sub-Saharan Africans, which are 16% of the globe, are which is just the population. Okay, take up 67% of major poverty, but Africa has the most resources of the world. Okay, classified income levels: poor people $2 to $10 an hour. Low income would be $20,000 a year annually. Middle income would be $10 to $20 an hour, which would be $41 an hour. Upper middle class would be $104 an hour, $104 annually, which would be $20,000 to $50,000, $50 a day, an hour. And then there are only, the point I'm making is we all broke, and everybody else, they the only ones got money, and they not suffering like the rest of us. If we get together, the rest of us, all of us, not white, black, nothing, poor, we could be able to run this. Don't let them tell you what we really can do. Let them know that we are most definitely the people that are in control. Just because you got dollars don't mean you ain't got nothing else. Right. Just because you got dollars don't mean that you got sense. Thank you guys for coming in. This is the Chisholm Report every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. If you see somebody out there out there shining, let them know you see them. See somebody out there grinding, let them know you see them shining. I love you guys, and I will see you next week. Let's educate each other. Let's stay together.
I get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday, they go back to work on Monday. If I was president,
but the radio won't play this. They call it rebel music. How can you refuse it? Children of Moses, tell the children the truth. It's not all that bleeds.